if I could send a message to the rest of the country, I would tell them that we have a lot more in common um, than differences. Of course, I'm a 30-year-old African American male, um, in the working class. I have a lot more in common with, you know, a white female that lives right up the street in the country with a Trump sign in the yard. When you really think about when it comes to uh, classism and the fact that most of the wealth is concentrated in a small number of people in the country who have the power to influence politics, who have the power to pretty much do what they want. So I'm sure they see me and some white lady, then it would be considered country that's the same. We're in the same boat. Um, I think we need to focus more on what we all have in common. When you strip away the labels of things, Democrat, Republican, conservative, or liberal, most people, pick the right answer. Most people agree that we need health care. Most people agree that we need $2,000 checks right now. Most people agree we need a $15 rate minimum wage. It's just when you insert culture into that, and different conservative or a liberal label, you attach those things to different issues. People kind of clam up and just focus on that instead.
That, um, you know, apart from we're always probably going to disagree with their politics and how things are ran, we really need. It might sound like we're being a dead horse here, and everyone says it. I'm not someone who's going around saying world peace, world peace. I'd love that. I do have the reality of scenarios in life that's not the case, but I would just like to tell them we do need to figure out and think of a better solution than causing chaos and riots and starting to tear up crap and all that. I do not think that's the solution. I don't think it's ever been the solution. I don't think we're getting anywhere doing that. I don't think when we're destroying either Capitol buildings or we're destroying businesses and all these things and hurting people, getting violence going on, destruction of businesses, people even dying. I don't think it's the smartest thing. And especially, I don't understand why everyone's out while we supposedly have COVID. Like, COVID's this huge deal and this big virus that is contagious, and we don't need to be out and about with everybody, being close distance and being around that. And yet you're all doing it. And it's great that we're fighting for cause, but it needs to be more peaceful. But we need to have more dialogue. We need to have more conversation, but in a better way. Screaming and shouting over each other is not doing anything, and then violence and craziness is not also doing anything. So it really just needs to be handled in a better situation. It needs to quit being handled like a child, really, with both left and right, or even independents. Everybody, with how we're explaining politics, everybody has gotten way too sensitive and gotten way too much in their feelings, and it's became way too personal. When in all reality, it doesn't have to be that personal.
I really want everyone to stop pointing fingers at each other. I don't care how much sense the other side doesn't make. I'm just really tired of people thinking each other is the devil. Both sides.
If I could send a message to the rest of the country, I would just say everyone be kind to each other, and be respectful to one another. And if everyone did that, then there wouldn't be all this contention, and people can have opinions, but you can't get upset at other people for having a different opinion.
I would say that it's really important to have conversations with those that have a dissenting opinion rather than things. I'll give specific examples that I was thinking about. Rather than posting stuff on your Instagram story, calling Republicans racist pigs, or calling Democrats like idiotic lefties, it doesn't help really change anybody's mind, and it just furthers the divide. And all of that is just an emotional based reaction that doesn't really spur any sort of conversation, any sort of potential for someone to change their mind on things, for someone to be less ignorant on certain topics. It doesn't open things up for conversation. And I think that's a really important thing to think about.
So if I could send a message to the rest of the country and everyone could hear it and internalize it, I would say, let's just talk this out. Social media is a battleground right now, and that's where you think, or some people may think, where these thoughts are explained and I guess diagnosed and dissected. And none of that is happening. It's a battleground of shouting and blatant blanket statements that completely amplify the current situation.
What you saw the last week, these past few days, is exactly what we were in the past summer when we were protesting Black Lives Matter. This is why we were protesting. All we want is equal treatment. All we want is fair opportunity. We don't want to be stopped just for walking down the street because we're Black. We don't want to fear being pulled over, even though it's something as simple as not turning on your blinker. We don't want to have to sit there when the police officer walks up to us at our car and wonder if we're going to die. We just want to have the same rights that everybody has, and don't say that everybody's equal, because we know that everybody's not. Everybody's not treated equal. All men are created equal. Then why aren't we treated as equals? The Constitution, which these people have been screaming about this past year, they're choosing which parts to honor. They're not honoring the most simplest part. All men are created equal.